Can you say burr? In some places it's at 0, other places it's below 0. You are waking up to a very cold morning.
And on top of that snow on the roads, we're in for an interesting start to the day. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Emily Leonard.
And I'm Brett Thomas. It is one of the coldest mornings you're going to wake up to in a very long time, at least 2 years. We're talking about single digits all across western Michigan. In Grand Rapids, it's 1. Unless things have changed here. We're going to check in with Matt Kirkwood shortly for that. We have team coverage for you because it's not just cold, it's also a mess on the roads, and it's going to be really interesting the entire day long. So let's start with Terry DeBoer this morning. Hi, Terry.
Well, good morning. Yes, indeed, we are looking at snow showers continuing, but the really big story today is the cold. Temperatures are one part of the story. Wind chills are as cold as 20 below 0. Widespread wind chill advisory in effect, and we don't get those on this side of the lake very often, so certainly brutally, dangerously cold air gripping the region. We're going to talk about those snow showers that will be with us through the day today, especially along and west of US 131. And it's interesting to note because these are the same areas where it has been snowing since Sunday afternoon, and so those areas just continue to pile up the snow amounts period by period. The overall storm totals in some places as high as almost a foot, because we get 2 to 4 inches today, another couple of inches tonight, another couple of inches coming up tomorrow. That lake effect snow advisory in effect through the day today. Newaygo, Lake counties, Kent County, also down to Berry, Calhoun counties, and points off to the west. And again, that wind chill advisory off to the east of there. Check out these air temps this morning. 3 below 0 in Greenville, 1 below in Alma, 1 above in Grand Rapids, 4 in Kalamazoo, 8 in South Haven. But again, that's only part of the story here. We've got these wind chills in effect to talk about. 16 below in Fremont, 17 below in Mount Pleasant and Alma, 7 below. Hey, that's one of the warm spots around, and that's in Kalamazoo. So as you send the kids out the door to the bus stop this morning, again, keep in mind they will want to bundle up. It's going to take the buses a lot longer to get to them, so they may be standing out at the bus stop a lot longer than they typically would, and so they'll want the entire winter weather gear, heavy coats, hats, gloves, boots, and snow pants. And again, wind chills to 20 below this morning, and as we head through the afternoon, an actual air temperature struggling to 10 above, with those wind chills perhaps staying as cold as 10 below. So again, a brutally cold morning across West Michigan. That is only half the story. Meteorologist Matt Kirkwood's going to dig into some snow totals coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Road crews have been out all night long working to make sure that the roads are clear for you, but I'm telling you what, it's going to be a tough one for you today because that sand and that salt not working in these types of temperatures. It's a real mess in Grand Rapids. It's a mess on the side streets. It's a mess all across West Michigan. And for a better picture of what's going on out there, let's check in with Tom Hillen. He's live in Grand Rapids right now with more on that. Good morning, Tom.
Well, good morning to you, Brett. It definitely has been an uphill battle for those road crews all night long. This lake effect snow has continued. Those winds have been whipping around, creating some very difficult visibility situations. And of course, these cold temperatures not helping at all either. We want to give you a live look this morning at I-196 in downtown Grand Rapids. And I want to point out one thing too that we kind of been seeing, especially on the on and off ramps. It's that glare that you see when the light hits it. And if you lived in Michigan for any sort of winter at all, you know that a glare on the road is never a good thing. We are seeing, particularly on the on and off ramps, those are very, very slippery this morning. I can tell you I was out driving overnight, and areas where people were doing a lot of braking tend to be very icy and slick. So as you get out of your developments this morning, especially at those intersections, around traffic lights, around stop signs, pay particular attention to those areas. That's where you're going to notice it. It may be the slickest. And talking about those temperatures, because it's so cold, just plain old salt does not work on these roads. So road crews have been treating the roads with a different mixture.
What we're putting down is a mixture of sand, salt, and liquid calcium chloride. So you get the action of the calcium chloride and the salt, rock salt, you can see here by my thumb, in the sand for grit. When it's this cold, we can get the salt to start working, but it's going to refreeze. Just like your skin freezes with a wind chill, so does the salt on the road. Once it starts to melt, it'll refreeze so quick. So the sand will give you a little bit of grit left behind. Just something for a little bit of traction.
Now, of course, we'll be out here all morning long monitoring the road conditions, and we'll make sure to pass any major problem areas along to you. Live in Grand Rapids, Tom Hillen, 24-Hour News 8.
Well, as we're standing out here in front of our studios at 120 College Southeast in Grand Rapids, we're watching a little bit of snow come down here. It's really small, very fine particles that are coming out. But Matt Kirkwood's been keeping an eye on the totals for us all across the region here.
Yeah, it's not incredibly impressive, and I think you just kind of brought up a good point. It's the very small type of snow that's falling, very kind of icy type, not the big dendrites we call them, and that's why the snow totals aren't really off the charts. This is what we have. We have a lake effect snow advisory out there still today, and that goes until 7 o'clock this evening. As far as the snow forecast or snow forecast amounts, we're looking at mostly west of US 131 again, with about 2 to 4 inches possible during that time frame. Now, just look at Kent County for a moment. Northeastern part of Kent County, you'll probably get a half an inch or less today, while the southwestern part of Kent County likely get about 2 to 4 inches. So that gives you an idea of the variable amounts out there, but nothing off the charts. Here's some of the look at some of those totals so far. 7.7 inches in the Granville area, 5 inches in Hudsonville, 5 inches in Wayland. So you can kind of see where most of the lake effect has been piling up. Southwestern Grand Rapids or southwestern Kent County over to Ottawa. Here in Grand Rapids, only 2 inches. So still enough, even though we've only had 2 inches here, to make things quite a mess. I was watching you guys. It was my day off yesterday, but I was watching you guys at home. I was like, man, the traffic, it's just bad.
Oh,
just
yeah,
for
I know.
2 inches.
I know. Well, I'll tell you what, first off, people tend to forget how to drive on the snow.
Yeah,
secondly, whenever it does snow like this and it doesn't get off the roads and they can't put the salt down, you have all sorts of wrecks. I mean, it was wreck city yesterday, especially along 96 out near Mar. I mean, it was a real mess out there.
Hopefully better today.
Like 30 cars. Yeah, exactly. All right, thank you so much, Matt.